I'm almost at the other side of Newport Beach at Corona Del Mar High School / Middle School for the first time doing foreign language today. It's not the first time I was here. I was here juggling at Halo for several years, but the first time subbing, so should be exciting. I think the only person I know who's here was my former history teacher from Anson Intermediate School, so I haven't seen him in 14 years. Maybe I'll run into him today. Okay, take 3. First interrupted by a phone call, interrupted by knocks on the door, but of course those take precedence over a YouTube video, of course. Anyway, I finally found this place. And just less than a half hour before school starts, very excited. And not only that, but I ran into that world history and geography teacher. I showed him the picture, and he's like, wow, I did not have any gray hair back 14 years ago. So I mean, it was great to see each other again. He asked, am I getting a credential? I said, yes, I'm inches away from getting recommended for a full math credential and such, and he kind of wished me luck, and it was just great to see each other. So now I'm here and just getting set up. And since it's December, I could finally start to play some Christmas music. So today was the Ronettes' Sleigh Ride from 1963, and a lot of people were singing and dancing along to that one. It's one of my favorites. Well, the day's nearly half over. It's now the prep period for this teacher, and so far so good. Right before first period started, I walked outside and there's a person who recognized me because I ran into him with other students from Ensign like several months ago, and so he was excited to see me again. He asked for a picture because I'm one of his favorite YouTubers, he said, so I really appreciate that. And the person who took a picture with me asked me if I still remembered his birthday, and I said yes, I still remember his birthday because he told me when I met him several months before. And I got to do the incentive that I brought, which is juggling for second period and third period just now. First period they didn't remind me, so until like afterward, a few students, I did a little performance for them. But so far it's good. In second period, a person started asking me about presidents, probably unbeknownst to him that I have all of them memorized, the birthdays, death dates, term dates. So I said, okay, we'll pick a number between 1 and 46, and that's how the whole class found out that I memorized things that no human on earth has got to memorize. And same thing for this past period when I was juggling. I said, okay, could someone pick a number between 1 and 46? So anyway, it was very fun so far. I can't wait for the rest of the day. Bonjour, je m'appelle Mr. Kinslow, and that's like the only French that I remember from 7th grade world or foreign language class. So apparently I was in France all day today instead of both French-speaking countries and Spanish-speaking countries, but other than that, all of the teachers' periods were all French and no Spanish, but again on Frontline it said both Spanish and French. So I'm like, well, I can't help you with the French, but I just finished student teaching math, and I have a degree in chemistry, so I could probably help you in those two things. And when I was out walking at lunch, I actually heard 2 people say Matthew at 2 different times. One person from youth group, and then on like toward the middle of the school, a person that I subbed for at Ensign, so he's coming here now, so at least I know a couple of students here. And one of them was asking me if I still remember his birthday. I said yes, and he tried to get me to guess other people's birthdays. I'm like, this is my first time here. And then in 7th period, not only did I juggle, but I'm like, well, there's a couple more minutes, so I'm like, okay guys, this may not work, but I do have a little magic trick, again, not real magic, on knowing people's birthdays. And again, sometimes I'm guessing forever, and other times I'm like lucky, like 1 in 365. So I actually got a few birthdays, and many I did not know. And then word got out in passing between 7th and 8th period, and when like half the 8th period students came in here, they were saying, could you guess my birthday, or could you, like, what's my birthday and such, and are you a juggler? And I said, how did you know all of that? And it's like, well, a lot of people told them about it. So at the end of 8th period, I got to juggle. I got to guess some birthdays, not all of them, unfortunately. Also, earlier today, I got to help people not just in math, but in chemistry for a couple of periods, like Lewis structure, stoichiometry, and all that fun stuff. So, but other periods, like in 7th period, I got to help out in math. So that brought back some memories too. One of them was like working on radicals and rationalizing denominators in 7th grade. I'm like, wow, because from what I've researched, I'm not sure if that's a 7th grade standard, but anyway. Also at lunch, I got to introduce myself to the middle school staff, principal and admin, as well as the high school principal, so it was good to meet them as well. So that's a wrap. It was an excellent day. School got out 3:35 p.m., which is almost an hour. That's actually 45 minutes later than Ensign. So again, first day substituting Corona Del Mar Middle School and High School. Not the first time I'm here. Again, I was in the Halo Benefit Healing Autism through Learning and Opportunities back in like 2016, 17, 18, and 19. So those are fun memories. Also, one more thing real quick, something I thought that was precious is that during first period, a student walked in with a hot cup of coffee in a tray. So I guess here at Corona Del Mar High School, all the teachers get a fresh hot cup of coffee in the morning. It is December 6th, and for the very first time I'm over here at Mariners Elementary substituting for 4th grade. I'm very excited. I walked by this school like hundreds of times, but this is the first time I'm going in. Here at room 15, I already ran into a couple of office staff, and they are very, very, very nice. So I'm very appreciative of their help and help orienting me through this campus. I'm mostly set up, and so far I'm very, very excited to be here. Class is going to begin in about 20 or less minutes, and the reading book is Island of the Blue Dolphins. When I was in 4th grade, this is what we read over at Newport Heights, the twin school to Mariners, so it's probably going to bring back some memories here. It's interesting that this is still in the curriculum. It's neat. It's 2/3 over, and it has already been a very wild day. The audiobook, let's say it didn't work, and then after recess there's a math test. It's like, okay, math, that's my specialty, but I can't really help other than just reread the question and everything because I can't give the answer, so that was the hardest part. They're doing like liters to milliliters and like meters to kilometers and all that fun stuff. And then the teacher forgot to bring out the math test, so I had to go next door to the other teacher, and then she came over here, and I was there waiting for who knows how many minutes and such. Finally got everything squared away. I came back. There was another parent here who helped and also helped to grade as well. So I just came back here and just monitored around for the next like 30-45 minutes, and they just got over their test. It never ceases to leave me the question of how tall I am. 2 students independently asked me how tall I am, so it's like, and people are asking like, had I played basketball and such? Well, I wanted to. I mean, in elementary school I did, but anyway. The students like the trick so far, and that's just half of it. I still have other tricks and juggling if they earn it at the end. Wild. That was just wild. I have no idea if I already said that, but I'll say it again. It was very wild and fun and loquacious day, I'll put it that way. So they did go to the library, and apparently something I completely spaced out, but the library is the Queen Mariners branch library just down there. The library that I went to many times, the library that I mentioned in my book, and the library that I mentioned in my current book that I'm writing right now. I got to mention that library, so it was fun. And I saw one of the librarians there whom I knew like 10, 11 years ago, so small world. And then they came back. They had PE just now, so it's like they go out there, they stretch, and I started them on push-ups. So, and then afterward, they just had free play on either the jungle gym or sports or handball or wherever. But anyway, it was just an extraordinary day, and first day here at Mariners, and I would come back tomorrow if there's an opening. So it was fun being here, and they all like the juggling. They all like the birthday magic trick, as well as all the other tricks that I do. Again, I tell them it's not real magic anyway. So can't wait for tomorrow, whatever tomorrow brings. Again, I know where I'm going to be Thursday, and then Friday, same thing. Can't wait to find out where I'm going to be then too. It's December 7th, 2022, and over here I'm at Wilson Elementary School for the first time, subbing 3rd grade. And funny story, don't laugh, as soon as I got up, I instantly checked Frontline because there weren't any like sub jobs available last night. And I saw one for T-Winkle Elementary School. I thought it said math, got all excited, and then a little later I realized it said music, not math. But anyway, then I refreshed a few times and there were 5 jobs available. I chose this job, 3rd grade. Well, here in this classroom and about to set up, and yes, I forgot to wear this outside, and I forgot to wear this the other few days, but this is one of my 2 silly hats for Christmas time, so, and I put it on in the office, and the person started laughing, saying, oh, that's cute. You just gotta be festive, right? What a day so far. It's only like 67 to 70% done already. So they're out at lunch right now. So where do I begin? So I found this place, obviously. Let's see if I can do it all in one go. So for science at the very beginning, they are reading all about the planet Earth and the solar system. So astronomy, my specialty, well, that and chemistry and anatomy and other mathematics and such. But since I have a high interest in astronomy for like 7.5 years, I started to give like more information. I expounded on other things that were in the book. It was very fun. The students seemed to like the facts. That was amazing about the distances between of all the 8 planets plus Pluto and everything, which I memorized, which no one has to memorize. But and also like 1 day on Venus as opposed to 1 year on Venus, and how that's and why that's the hottest planet instead of Mercury, which is closer and such. So it was very fun. It's like my specialty right there. I could actually teach more than just math. Now I could do more science. Well, I do help out in science anyway. I would say that it is nearly as loquacious as those 4th graders at Mariners yesterday. Now, let me tell you something that has never happened before. During recess, I walk out, and apparently word got out that I am this YouTuber that's around, and there have been so many students that literally sprinted up to me, ran up to me with slips of paper asking for my autograph. That has never happened before as a substitute teacher. It has happened before in the past as like while I was a juggler at schools or so, but that was before I became like a professional YouTuber. Now I'm here, and I just got the class walked out over there and was just standing there no more than a millisecond. Everyone just wanted my autograph, and the next thing I know, a person came by and said, "Hi, I need to talk to you. I'm the principal here." And again, that has just never happened before as a student teacher / substitute teacher. Well, I mean, actually, while I was a student teacher and substitute teacher this last academic year and the present day, there have been just a couple of students wanting my autograph, a lot more just wanting a picture with me. But at the same time, I did get to meet the principal for the first time, and she is a very nice person, and I got to tell her that, well, I'm an author, speaker, volunteer, juggler, and that I would do anything to like have an assembly here to juggle and encourage the students. I told her what I encourage with, like despite a disability, anyone can do whatever they set their heart and mind to do, and just to not give up in life, and all those main points. And that I do like a juggling analogy, science demo analogy to illustrate those points. And then it was reading groups, and I was at the back table back there, and the intercom came on, and all of a sudden, lockdown drill. Unprepared to me, unbeknownst to me, so I'm like, okay, everyone go over there. I went and closed the door, and I tried to get them as silent as I could. I got them relatively silent, and we all just waited it out until the intercom came back on saying, okay, all clear, the drill is over. So that was exciting, and I was unprepared for that, but it went okay. I would say so far so good. Again, it's my joy to be here. It's my joy to be at Mariners. It's my joy to be at CDM, and like everywhere I go, it's just a joy. And also, I know where I'm going to be on Friday, so I'm set for tomorrow and Friday, and let's just say that I'm going to be in elementary school, so somewhere in the district. And also, one more thing real quick, I did get to help out a little bit in math, like just basic multiplication facts and all that. And for any fellow fire buffers who may be watching this, I'm next to Costa Mesa Fire Station 4. Already we heard a code 3 response, and it's like, well, I can't take out the camera now, but anyway, that's okay. But I say that because yesterday I actually saw Newport Beach Fire Engine 62 for the very first time. It's like a brand new fire engine. It looked brand new. It was just amazing. But of course, I was inside Mariners Elementary. I was on campus, and it's like, well, I just can't take out a camera, and it wasn't responding anyway. But nevertheless, it was the first time I got to see it. So, well, that was quite a wild conclusion for today. And yes, I'm wearing a new hat, one that sings and dances and everything. And at the very end was ELF equations, and it's like, well, I just finished student teaching math, talking about equations and such. So this is a very fun way to get 3rd graders into getting prepared on working with equations, and I tried my best. Some got it, some didn't get it. So I just went with them for the rest of the class after lunch on this, and it's early out day, so I didn't get to do any juggling, but I'm optimistic that I'll be able to come back to juggle in an assembly, hopefully one day this academic year. But I thought, well, of course, the schoolwork is the priority, and it's not just that I love math, I just know that the schoolwork is the priority, and then cleanup time and then that was the day. So again, it was quite an excellent day. The students were very kind, very loquacious, but still very kind. One student even stayed after school and cleaned up the entire classroom. That was quite a time saver for me. It looks nearly spotless, and I mean, she just went around and cleaned up the class, so that really helped my job out. As I was getting organized, like I was finalizing the notes from the substitute teacher. The students also, once again, were very kind in helping me with classroom procedure and how the class is set up, where things are on campus. And like at the very beginning, I'm like, I'm sorry, I just didn't know. I didn't know this is what your teacher, how your teacher did it. And one of them was like, that's okay, you're just a sub and everything. So I mean, that's very kind of the class to really help me out, to really be understanding, like, this is my first day in this class, my first day at the school. Once again, it was a very kind and very friendly class, and now on to tomorrow. It's December 8th, 2022. I'm back over here at Newport Heights, the grade of which I have quite a story to tell you. So let me articulate the whole entire story. About a couple of weeks ago, around Thanksgiving time, or like Thanksgiving break, I accepted this position as a 5th grade substitute teacher here at Newport Heights. However, last night I went to a potluck at Vanguard University. It was like our last lecture night of our credential program. I do have a few more meetings to attend before I'm officially credentialed as a teacher. But last night I ran into a classmate of mine who is actually a student teacher here at Newport Heights. In fact, this year, her AST mentor teacher was my 3rd grade teacher, the same teacher who I've been juggling for throughout the year, every year since I was a sophomore in high school in 2010, and he now teaches 1st grade. And I told her the name of the teacher, and she said, wait, she doesn't teach 5th grade, she switched to 2nd grade. So I text the teacher, her mentor teacher, my former teacher, is this true? And he texted back and said, yes, she did teach 5th grade, but now she teaches 2nd grade. And I'm like, my comfortable level at this moment is, like, 3rd grade is the baseline, like 3rd and 4th grade, and I would prefer 4th, 5th, and 6th grade at an elementary school, and if 3rd grade is available, I'll choose 3rd grade, like I did yesterday for Wilson and the other week for Whittier. Again, 3rd grade is the baseline, below which I just kind of question. I mean, I've done K through 2nd many times at Royal Rangers. I mean, my first 2 years as a commander was back from September 11th, 2013 to June 17th, 2015, I believe. I was basically the commander of Ranger kids, K through 2nd, or one of them, that is. And in my 2nd year as a commander, I took over 2nd grade and such. And then every year after, up until COVID hit, I was kind of the director of the Royal Rangers Christmas Choir, which was emphasized with the Ranger kids. So, but a full class size to 2nd graders, I mean, I just kind of question that. I mean, I know I could do it, but it's like, am I ready and such? I want to be an effective teacher. It's not that I'm scared of them whatsoever. It's like I want to be an effective substitute teacher. So I got here early and I asked the office lady who was here, and I mean, we know each other. I basically know a lot of people here. And of course, I'm class of 2007 here. And I asked her, well, is there an opening? I mean, I hate to put like a vacancy, but is there like a opening for a higher grade where maybe I could trade with somebody? So we got to thinking, and in the meantime, I went inside that 2nd grade class just to get everything put down and set up and such, and just in case. But there was another substitute teacher for a 4th grade class, one that I substituted last year for. So I already know the teacher. And so the office lady texted her, and it was like close to 8 o'clock. It was like 5 till. And class was about to start, and there's no text back, and no one came to my door to talk to me. Like, she said that maybe the substitute could come to the door and talk to me and see if we could trade or not. So I went back to the office to return the Chromebook, because if I was going to teach substitute teach 2nd grade, I didn't need the Chromebook. So while I was doing so, the office lady asked me, did she come see you? I said, no, not yet. So we walked all around. Apparently, the teacher that she is substituting for had like duty outside. So we walked over there. All the boys and girls are lined up, and all the teachers are coming out. And I'm walking with the office lady. I meet the substitute teacher, And the office lady told her about my dilemma, that on Frontline it said that the teacher I was subbing for taught 5th grade when she only taught 2nd grade, and was wondering if I could switch. And she said yes. So I am in here in a 4th grade classroom substituting one of the best classes that I've ever subbed for. I mean, I have the list now. And I subbed for this teacher last year, and it was like one of the best that I've ever subbed for. I kind of came here as like literally like just past 8 o'clock. I looked at the sub notes, like took a quick skim, managed everything, and everything just fell into place. It was easy, and students really helped me out. They kind of knew procedure, what to do and everything. So very kind, very helpful and such. And so the first part was just reading two chapters of an audiobook. I pulled up YouTube. They read the 2 chapters, very quiet, very, listening and reading along. And at the end I had to pull up like a Google Doc from Schoology, and one student like really knew everything how to do it, so really helped me out there. While they were reading, I was dividing the sub-plans into like all the incentives and tricks and everything. And to reward for good behavior, the teacher has like marbles that I could put from one cup to another cup. And I also did the clap game because they were sitting for like 36 to 40 minutes and such. So the clap game, I'd have to explain it another time. But so far so good. They're in science class for an hour. But I was also communicating to that 1st grade teacher, my former 3rd grade teacher, the one whose class I would juggle in for several years. And we are actually setting something up today where I could go in and I could still juggle and do a whole bunch of tricks and wear my Christmas hats and everything. And our plan is that when the 4th graders are taking their lunch and such, I could go in the 1st grade class and juggle for them and everything, because of the difference. Like you have upper elementary and lower elementary, they have different times for recess and lunch and everything. And so I would be like double duty today, a sub here and a volunteer there, and I'm so excited. I mean, that's my joy, that's my drive, that's like what motivates me every single day, is to have some place to be, even if it's multiple places, even at the same time, and just put joy and smile and encouragement on people's faces, especially children and teenagers as well. That's why I'm making it my life to serve these age groups, as well as everybody, of course, but with an emphasis on the younger. And that went phenomenally. So it's lunchtime now for upper elementary, so I went over to the 1st grade classroom, in which was another 1st grade class, and 2 of my classmates from Vanguard were in there because they're student teachers at the school. And I got to juggle for 2 classes of 1st graders. It was amazing, it was phenomenal. They just loved the juggling, the juggle-bugs, the clubs, the basketballs, soccer balls, everything. And they had a litany of math questions to ask and other questions too, and it was just amazing. And speaking about the mentor teacher for that room, the one who was my 3rd grade teacher, I got to run into him earlier today. He had to step out, unfortunately, when I was there juggling, but I got to see him earlier today. But about him, this was actually his room when I was in 3rd grade. So we started out in a portable, and then we came to this room. So I am in my 3rd grade classroom talking about my former 3rd grade teacher's 1st grade class, whom I just juggled for again. So full circle. It's also been very festive because throughout the day, and sometimes during like time when they have like a class game, like a math game and such, I get to put like Christmas music in the background. It's just wonderful. I just concluded teaching perhaps one of the most extraordinary classes I've ever subbed for. They were really on task, listening, and it really brought me back to my mentor teacher's classroom at Ensign. And again, several of the students know people or have family members who are at Ensign right now, and one of them at least has an older brother whom I student taught this past semester. So I thought that was just very coincidental. After recess was the math lesson, teaching all about big numbers and rounding, and it really brought me back to my mentor teacher's classroom because it was just as if I was back there. Everybody, almost everybody loved math in this class, and then after the full lesson, I taught them math shortcut tricks. I taught them how to multiply 2 numbers between 100 and 109 in a few seconds. I taught them how to multiply 2 numbers between 90 and 99 and such, and then all the other tricks and magic tricks and juggling they all loved. And it shouldn't be to any surprise, but This class is very intelligent, that a lot of them figured out some of my magic tricks and everything, or were at least on the right track. And I'm like, don't tell anybody. If you ever figure it out, don't tell them. Just keep it to yourself, practice it at home, develop it, and then do it on other people. That's what I always say all these years if anyone figures out how to do some magic tricks. I just got back from after school duty, so there's like lunch duty and after school duty and such, and it's fun. I just stay there until everyone's picked up and all that. And I got a few more compliments on my juggling, including one of the parents who was there in that first grade classroom and such. I ran into a few of the former teachers who still remember me when I was a student here, because there's still several of them actually who still teach here. And I'm about to go and write my note to the teacher from the substitute teacher, and I can't wait till tomorrow. December 9th, 2022, I'm over here at Davis Magnet School for the first time, substituting for 6th grade. I'm very impressed with this school. I've been following it on Twitter for the past 3 years. I'm excited to go in for the first time. So far so great. It's lunchtime, and this 6th grade class is so remarkable, and once again it brings me back to my mentor-teacher classroom. They're very diligent, focused, assiduous, loving to learn. There was a math quiz today that I had to hand out, and it was just silent. Everybody was respecting each other and doing well on the quiz and thinking hard and raising their hand, asking questions and such. And just to clarify, Davis Magnet School emphasizes on STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and there's like so many like future scientists who attend that school, and they bring in like real doctors over from like Hoag Hospital to teach like anatomy and surgery to students, and so many other things. I wouldn't be surprised if any of them go into enhanced math in middle school and high school. And also yesterday at Newport Heights Elementary, I thought the same thing. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of students at that or in that 4th grade classroom would also end up being in enhanced math at Ensign Intermediate School or their future middle school. I actually ran into a couple of Royal Rangers from my outpost that I haven't seen in like about a month or two, but I gotta say hi to them again. They're like in 5th grade. The students really liked my tricks and games activities that I brought for incentives. And I taught today's class how to multiply two numbers between 100 and 109, and maybe later on I could do how to multiply numbers from 90 to 99 easily. Again, there's just a lot to say about this class and this entire school, and so about 2/3 down and 1/3 to go. So that was a remarkable conclusion to a remarkable week. The students all liked the juggling at the end of the day, after which I taught them another math shortcut that I was describing earlier, as well as the envelope trick too. That turned out to be a success as well. And afterward, tons of the students were thankful for me. They said thank you and everything, have a good weekend. And there was also an aide who has been there all day that have been extremely resourceful and helpful, and we've had great conversations. In fact, she was an aide to a person whom I met in 3rd grade, and she was her aide all throughout high school graduation, I believe, so we were like small world and full circle and everything. So once again, thank you so much for following this journey. I try to put out these videos maybe like once a week or once every other week and such, and I really hope that it's just an encouragement more than just an adventure or a journey to those interested, but also an encouragement that you could do whatever you set your heart and mind to do, including if you want to become a teacher. I finally found this place and I finally found this place. So it's less than a half hour before school starts, and same thing. What day? It's like okay. And also one more thing real quick is I did get to help out a little. I actually ran into a couple of. It never ceases to stop all week. Thank you.